So it's been quite a while since I've uploaded a League related video, and I just wanted to make a little rant on the problems with League. I've been playing a lot recently and I got back into Platinum some time ago, but I seem to be stuck in Platinum 5 and my MMR has gone down a lot. I was getting like 20 LP per win and now I'm down to 16 per win while losing 20 per defeat, so it's really bad. I'm losing more than I'm gaining essentially. This frustrating position sometimes makes you wonder if it's even worth queuing up for a game, but I don't get tilted easily and try to perform well in every game, and instead of being rewarded for this, sometimes I lose the game out of factors that I have very little control of, such as things preventing me to play, like lag, or more often and worse, people in my team going AFK for any number of reasons, ranging from frustration with the game to connection issues or just trolls. While I know that I'm in the division that I deserve to be in, it mostly depends on my individual performance. League of Legends is still a team game, and while this being a game-defining trait, it's still flawed. In fact, I think it's one of the fundamental problems with video games. What I mean here is video games are supposed to be relaxing ways to escape your day-to-day problems and annoyances. Instead of doing this, competitive games like League tend to create a more tense atmosphere where you're ranking in progress through the ladder around the stakes, something you care about deeply. This in turn brings forth a lot of emotional response from players, both negative and positive. The losers are furious over their recent defeat, while the winners are rewarded with a euphoric response. Okay, you might be thinking, this isn't anything new. And while you're right about that, the effects that defeats can have on players are sometimes very damaging and are overlooked. Some people might be able to shrug it off and queue into the next game with a new fresh wave of optimism, not having their decision making and gameplay hindered from the results of the last game. But I wanted to highlight a different side of the spectrum. Thousands upon thousands of angry players filled with rage because of the feeling that their countless hours spent on the game are irrelevant, just because of this one game or the losing streak that they can't seem to get over and score at least one win. Their judgment becomes clouded, they might make lots of mistakes and lose more and more games. This is called tilt. Tilt usually wears off fairly quickly, but no one is immune to it, not even the best players in the game. It's like a vicious cycle that affects not only your games but the games of other people, because remember, you're still in a team with 4 other players. But there's a disconnect here. How does a silly video game, as some might say, trigger such a strong emotional response in players? The only thing connecting you to your teammates is the chat, so how are players able to transmit their frustrations so truthfully from real life into the game? The answer to this is gameplay. The very way you play the game has an effect on people's reactions, much stronger than any message you type out in the chat. And people have, as always, discovered a way to abuse this, the infamous trolls and intentional feeders. I had this one case a few days ago where I was supporting someone and he or she dies alone during the laning phase, so that means pretty early into the game, and blames me for it, then proceeds to play like he's forced to, and starts buying AP items on a champion that has 0 ways to make use of it. I was ignoring him for most of the time, but at one point I decided to simply ask him, "Why are you buying AP?" His response? "To tilt you." These trolls resort to making the game much harder for their teammates and helping the enemy team achieve victory just because things didn't go their way. This to me is game breaking. The fact that only one person can affect the outcome of the game is outrageous. They essentially become your 6th opponent, but one that you can't fight. This isn't some kind of bug or imbalance in the meta. This is a flaw in the core mechanics of a game that is centered around rewarding team play. It kind of simulates real life in the sense that you don't really have control over everything, no matter how hard you try. But in real life, we learn to accept this and move on, as opposed to video games that really just makes them not fun to play. And it kind of creates a paradox where video games, the ultimate equalizer, no matter what your background is, capabilities, gender and whatnot, overcome these obstacles, at least by definition, and make a fun environment for everyone to play in. Instead, they sometimes tend to do the opposite, show us how little control over things we really have. There's definitely more to say on this issue, but I feel like I've been talking a bit too much and should end the video here. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next time.